For millions of students, online school is just the new normal. But behind all those screens, there's often a silent struggle happening. So today, we're going to dig into a new model that really aims to close that social and emotional gap that can leave so many students feeling disconnected. And this is the central question, isn't it? It's the big paradox. For all the amazing flexibility and freedom that virtual learning offers, it can also come with a huge risk of social isolation. This is the tension that students, parents, and teachers are dealing with every single day.
Okay, so let's dive right into it. To really understand the solution here, we first have to get a super clear picture of the problem. What are the common hurdles that students are up against when they log into a typical K-12 online school? Well, the challenges really boil down to these 4 key areas. It often starts with weak engagement. Just logging in isn't the same as truly being present. And from there, it can be a slippery slope to fading motivation and this deep sense of being disconnected. And when students feel that way, they miss out on the chance to build those crucial character skills. You can see how it becomes the cycle that can leave students feeling pretty lost.
So, here's the big question then. How can an online school be intentionally designed to tackle those first 2 huge hurdles, engagement and motivation? Let's break down how this model approaches it.
What's really fascinating here is the fundamental shift in thinking. On one side, you have the typical challenge, students doing passive work, feeling totally disconnected, and eventually just tuning out. But this approach, it flips that script completely. It's built on strong relationships, predictable routines, and getting students to actively participate. It's about turning the experience from just consuming information into one of real connection.
And look, this isn't just a vague, hopeful idea. It's a really concrete 4-step process. First, you've got to have regular, meaningful interaction between teachers and students. I'm talking real check-ins, not just emails. Second, you need structure and routine to help build accountability. Third, you have to be proactive and catch that disengagement before it spirals. And finally, you build strong partnerships with families, creating a support system that goes way beyond the virtual classroom walls.
And this is such a smart way to think about the motivation problem. It's not about taking away the flexibility. That's what attracts a lot of people to online learning in the first place. The idea is to combine that freedom with a strong structure and continuous support. You're not just leaving students to figure it all out on their own. You're giving them a solid framework to help them succeed. The absolute key to this approach is that the support is proactive, not reactive. You use guided pacing to keep students on track. You use interactive modules to make learning feel dynamic, not passive. And you have frequent check-ins to make sure no one is falling behind. It's all about creating this safety net to catch students before they fall. All right, so let's move on to the next set of challenges. We'll see how this model builds on that academic foundation to address the really human needs, things like connection and personal growth, which, let's be honest, often get overlooked in a virtual setting. The magic word here is intentionally. See, in a physical school, a lot of community building just happens. It happens in the hallways, at lunch, between classes. Online, you have to design it with purpose. The goal is to go beyond just academics and create a virtual space where every single student feels seen, valued, and like they're truly part of something. So how do you actually do that? How do you build a real community online? Well, it's not about forcing it. It's about weaving connection into the fabric of the school day. Think about group projects that get kids talking and creating together, school clubs that bring students together over shared passions, and dedicated mentors who are there to provide guidance and just listen. It's about making a space where students feel safe and supported.
Now, this is a big one. This model makes a really powerful argument. Character isn't some extracurricular thing. It has to be fundamental to the curriculum itself. So often the online focus is just on compliance, on getting the work turned in. This approach shifts that completely, saying that values have to be woven into every class, every discussion, and every project.
And to make this tangible, not just a bunch of nice words, the model is built around these crisp RISE values. We're talking curiosity, responsibility, integrity, and so on. These aren't just words on a poster. They become the guiding principles that shape the entire school culture, from how teachers give feedback to how students work together. And this all connects to another vital piece, digital citizenship. In an online school, this is absolutely essential. It's about teaching students not just how to use the technology for their assignments, but how to be responsible, respectful, and ethical members of a digital world. And that's a skill they're going to carry with them for the rest of their lives. So when you put all these pieces together, The engagement, the motivation, the sense of belonging, the character development. What's the big overarching takeaway from this whole model?
This, right here, is probably the most crucial point of all. So often, we get caught up thinking the solution to better online education is a fancier platform or a new app. But what this model argues is that great online learning is way less about the software and way more about the people and the principles, the intentional, human-centered design of the community itself. And ultimately, this quote just nails the mission. It's all about fundamentally rethinking what a virtual school can and should be. It's a huge shift away from seeing it as a place of independent struggle and moving toward a vision of it as a structured, supportive, and a deeply connected community that's built to help every student succeed. So, as we all try to figure out this changing world of education, it really leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? Maybe the true purpose of school isn't just about delivering information. Maybe it's about building connection, no matter the distance. And that's the real question for all of us. What are we doing to build genuine human connection in our own learning communities?